All right, please help me welcome to today's call Chairman Kendall Scudder of the Texas Democratic Party. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're very, very busy right now, and we really appreciate you making time on this very important issue.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It just means the world that Minnesota DFL is willing to pitch in here to help us save democracy. Texas Democrats are throwing down, and it has been very moving, the response we've been getting from our colleagues around the country.
Of course, of course. It's the least we can do. Before we dive into this, I do have to say you have like the coolest office ever, and you actually showed me a preview of something that's hiding behind your chair there right now.
I have a big wall that has a whole bunch of political heroes and original posters on it. And one I thought that y'all would appreciate, I pulled it off the wall, was our buddy Hubert Humphrey, a cartoon with him and the donkey.
I love that. See, Texas and Minnesota hand in hand like that. That's
I have
amazing.
it right next to a Lyndon Johnson, so we're friends. This friendship was planned from the beginning.
There we go. There we go. Well, welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us. There's so much happening right now. Let's just go ahead and jump right into all of this. Tell us what's happening in Texas right now.
What's happening in Texas right now is that Donald Trump is trying to dodge accountability in the 2026 midterms by stealing 5 congressional seats away from the people of Texas and from the people of the United States. They know that the voters are going to hold them accountable for gutting Medicaid, for shutting down rural hospitals, making energy costs more expensive, pushing the largest tax increase on working class families in my lifetime with these tariffs, and now openly talking about privatizing Social Security. And so, how do they get around being held accountable for that? Well, what they do is they go and they start stealing seats away. There's some intricacy in this that I'm sure we'll get into in a bit. But basically, what you should know is they're trying to drive a dagger through the heart of minority representation. Every Black member of Congress from Texas has either been drawn out of their district or drawn into a heavily Republican district to try to eliminate them from their seats. That is not a coincidence. That was done on purpose. And if they are successful here in the Texas courts and then the federal courts that are controlled by Trump, this could drive a dagger through minority representation across the entire country. And we are not going to sit aside and let them do it. The Democratic Party that has just kind of allowed themselves to get pushed over does not exist anymore, particularly in Texas. We are here to throw down and fight back any way we have to. And so our members will be in Chicago as long as they need to be, and they will incur whatever personal fines they need to. They will take whatever punches they need to from the district because it is the right thing to do. And we are not going to give this government away to Donald Trump.
Amazing, amazing. I know the focus is on Texas right now, but the reverberations are a lot larger than this. What are the implications of this nationally if this happens?
Well, I mean, if this happens nationally, think of the minority representative that you have in your community. They're next. Okay. And they're not just going to try to do it red state by red state, which you're kind of seeing them start to move the cogs a little bit in redistricting. They're going to try to take it through the courts, and they're going to try to say that minority protection is inherently a violation of the Voting Rights Act that calls for minority representation protection, right? They're trying to redefine what all of this means in Trump courts. So the repercussions are huge. Right now, Congress is extremely close in Republican, Democrat. Republicans obviously control it. And this billionaire bootlicking bill that passed only passed by 1 vote. So still in 5 votes out of Texas gives them a lot more cushion. And so there's huge repercussions for the entire country. An argument that I'm making right now is that Democrats need to stop saying in red blue states that whenever this happens in Texas, they'll do it themselves. Do it now. It's happening. My entire delegation is on a compound by themselves, away from their families, away from their jobs, unable to pay their mortgages, away from their friends who have died, because unable to go to funerals and first days of school because they are trying to preserve democracy. So blue state governors around the country need to start right now carving their states up, bringing Republicans to heel so that we can start having a conversation about federal nonpartisan redistricting committees, which is what Democrats want. All Democrats voted for it in 2021. All Republicans voted against it in 2021.
And Chairman, I mean, this feels like a worst case scenario where we're at right now. You and I were just talking before the call about, this being unprecedented times. And actually, right before we hopped on, there was some late breaking news as well about the FBI right now. Just kind of walk us through what's currently happening and how unlawful that is.
Well, let me say, unprecedented times require that we respond in unprecedented ways. We cannot continue to operate by one rule book while Republicans operate by another. And that's why we're refusing to participate in a sham special session that doesn't serve the 137 Texas families who lost someone in a flood just a month ago, and instead has one hearing for them and 8 for drawing political districts. We're not going to participate in it. Okay. The right now, Donald Trump and the sham FBI has started calling to help Texas round up our legislators and try to send them back to Austin, even though they have violated no federal laws, they have violated no state laws. But the federal government is going to use itself to try to employ political actions here. I know Governor Pritzker will surely step in and try to be as helpful as he can in this situation, but this is absolutely uncalled for and absolutely obscene for the president of the United States to think that they can involve themselves in a procedural mechanism for a state party or for a state legislature. One more item. People out of Texas may not know this. A special session lasts 30 days. That's why they're so upset, is because after 30 days, it ends, everything's done. He would have to call another special session. But in the Texas Constitution, our founders gave us quorum break rights. This isn't something that we just read the rule book and found a loophole. The Constitution tells us we have a right to do it. So it's particularly wild for the FBI to think they can get involved in our constitutionally protected procedural actions.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it really does feel like we're standing on the precipice here. I know this type of thing has happened before. It's happened before in Texas, happened before in other states, but it really does feel different this time. Why is it? What's different about the calculus right now in this moment?
What's different right now is that we understand that this is for all the chips. I mean, this is not the way we've been talking about it. And honestly, I'm not just giving you bluster. The members, when I was in Chicago with them, we're all having these discussions. A lot, especially our Black members, were saying, I have friends, ancestors, mentors who got the shit kicked out of them on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And this is a very small ask of me. You know, I'm lucky that I'm not having to put my body in the way of making this happen. All I'm being asked to do is pay some fines. And if that is financially what we have to do, we'll figure that out. And if I have to sell my goddamn house to make it happen, I'm ready to do it because it's the right thing to do to save this republic. And I mean, that's kind of the tone of the members right now. It is a crucial moment in civil rights history right now. We understand it, we recognize it, and I hope that all of our members stay firm. I hope the rest of the country sees the sacrifices these people are making and what they're doing to put themselves at risk here. They're now getting filings in the court to remove them from office. You know, which we'll just file them back for office and they'll all win, probably with more votes than they got in the first place. But it's just gross what's happening to these people.
It really is. And this is true leadership, which you and the members are doing. Thank you for demonstrating that. I think it tends to be rare in our national politics right now. But you kind of touched on this, but it's a big coalition of members that you have that you're trying to build consensus among. How did the party go about building consensus right now for this action?
Well, I mean, I think Texas Democrats have a okay, so Democrats everywhere, they're great. Love them. I think Texas Democrats have a particular amount of grit, okay? Because number one, as Texans, we're a little unruly and ungovernable. But number two, I think that we've gotten our teeth kicked in for so long. And we have been treated so badly for so long by these people that we're kind of at a point where we're like, what else do we got to lose? Like we might as well go in hard because they have no respect for us. And so it's built this mentality of all of us of there's no question that my people are here to do the right thing. There are some members that chose not to quorum break with us. Shame on them. And I have made clear to them that I'm unhappy with them for that. But we have had enough members that have chosen to do it. They have not behaved cowardly and have instead said they understand and they're ready to meet this moment. And I think that it just comes from what we've been through as Texans for years. Also, it's a new day in the Texas Democratic Party. I just got elected as chairman back in April. We're changing the tone, the way we operate, and the way we support. And I was elected from the Progressive Caucus. The progressive wing of our party is alive and well in Texas, and we're ready to throw down and we're ready to fight back.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Thank you. We chatted a little bit about this, but there is some like wonky parts of policy to what's happening right now, and then there's also the headlines of what's happening right now. How are you ensuring the public understands not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it?
Here's what I warn every Democrat, okay? Every Democrat thinks that if they just had 10 more minutes, they could explain it to you on every topic, okay? Sometimes we're a little too smart for our own good. And this is just, I'm a farm kid from East Texas. I went to Sam Houston State University, which might as well have been Harvard for a kid like me. So, what I'm warning our Democrats is everybody doesn't have to understand every intricacy of redistricting to be able to understand what's happening right now. Here is what's happening right now. A flood killed 137 Texans, largely children. A special session was called to respond to that, to get those families relief and to make sure it never happens again. Democrats participated in that session for 2 weeks, where only one hearing was done for those victims, and 8 were done for political gamesmanship on behalf of Donald Trump. Greg Abbott is not doing the work of the people of Texas. He's doing the work of Donald Trump. Texas Democrats don't work for Donald Trump. We work for the people of Texas unapologetically. We will take on whatever billionaire, whatever banker, whatever bootlicking bastard we have to make sure that the working class people of this country get their fair shake. That's what we're doing. Full stop. You don't have to understand every intricacy about how these district lines work and why they're bad. We're happy to talk about it, but I think people need to understand the bigger piece of this. Who do elected officials serve? Do they serve you? Or do they serve them? They don't serve the billionaire class that's running this country. They serve the working men and women of this country unapologetically.
Wow. Wow. That is shameful what is happening and what happened during that special session as well. And having someone like you lend your voice to it right now, man, I gotta say, we gotta get you out everywhere. We gotta be sharing exactly what you just said here as loud as we can, as many times as we can, wherever we can right now. I know you're busy. I won't take up too much more of your time. I just got one question left for you. What advice do you have for Democrats about turning these moments of defiance into momentum? What can we learn and what can we build on what you are doing here?
Okay, so here's what we need right now. And I'll kind of talk about this in a larger space. What we need right now is 2 things. One is financial, one is not. And I'll tell you on the financial piece, I'll remind everyone when y'all are in the closest races of y'all's life in purple states, some of the largest funders of those races are donors here in Texas. Okay. We've been there when people have needed us, grateful for people who are being here now that we need them. Um, we need resources. Greg Abbott has a $90 million war chest that he has already started deploying to run political ads against all of our members, saying that they are derelict and not doing their jobs. We have to respond in kind. People can help us by going to texasdemocrats.org. There is a redistricting defense fund they can give to there. It would be incredibly helpful. Number 2 that you can do that's not financial, but still great, no matter where you live in this country, call Democratic members of the House, thank them for breaking their quorum, urge them to continue to break quorum. And if you're calling a member that chose to sit on the floor and not break quorum, a scab that chose not to participate in this, let them know how you feel about that. Number 1. Number 2, call Republican representatives in Texas. Let them hear how you feel about this issue right now. Texas representatives don't often get a lot of correspondence. They tend to operate under the radar. I think getting a whole bunch of calls from across the country would be a huge jolt to a lot of them to understand that they are here to meet this moment, not to play political games. Our members need to also hear, the ones that have broken, that people are appreciative of it, because when you're insulated on a compound and no one can really hear outside of it much, they sometimes don't see all the news that's happening. And some of them may not realize how big of a deal this is happening nationally right now.
Wow. And the Minnesota DFL is here to partner with you all. We are fundraising on behalf of the Texas Democratic State Party. If you are watching this call right now, you will be getting an email from us asking you to donate to the party. If you visit dfl.org, you can make a donation there. But please, 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 like the chairman said, do everything that we can right now to support the work they're doing.
So grateful for that, guys. Thank you. And no, Texas is not going to forget how helpful Minnesota has been to us. Very grateful. One more item on these acts of defiance that's on a larger scale. Here is my personal advice to individuals. Don't take any shit. Stop letting these Republicans lead us around like lost puppies, telling us what we stand for and what we're doing. We know what we stand for, and we are not going to let Republicans who have done nothing to serve anyone but themselves tell us that what we're doing isn't the right thing to do. They are a collaboration of trust fund babies and class traders that are sabotaging this country on behalf of the billionaire class. Do not allow them to get any wins because they don't deserve it. And those wins are not for the people that we are doing this work to fight for. We are unapologetic warriors for the working class. When we act that way, when we legislate that way, we will start to get our voting blocks back that way. But we've lost sight of it as a party, and they've started to leave us. We have to do everything we can to earn it back and show that we're walking the walk.
Chairman Scudder, you are a breath of fresh air and a kick in the butt, and I mean that in a good way. Thank you so much for joining us on the call. We know you are so busy right now. I will let you get back to it. Thank you very much. Good luck. Minnesota stands with Texas and all the work that you're doing. Thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate y'all.